Yes. Are we back? Are we back? Yes, we are. I think there's some glitchy stuff happening on YouTube. Give me a moment. I think we're back. Yes, we are. Yes? Also, you know it's cooked when you start seeing the freaking morning screen on Genshin. Also, hold up, give me a moment. I forgot to do a thing while... I should have opened the window while I was restarting my computer. Alright, there we go. That should cool down the room a bit, hopefully. Alright. So yes, where were we? Right, we were doing C6 Chevy DPS testing, but yeah, it's so cooked whenever I see the morning screen. And in the middle of it, I see my computer ran out of memory and storage and crashed a few of my programs, and I had to restart my computer. But we are now back, and we're going to continue streaming for the next, hopefully uninterrupted for the next 2 hours-ish. And then, just like yesterday, there's some construction work that starts at 7 a.m. It's almost 5 right now. It'll be pretty loud, so it'll be forced to end stream then, so hopefully we can get everything done by then. And, so let's just quickly get back to Miliastra, claim this. Head back, and let's check. On the Excel, where were we? We were about to do write and selling. So let's quickly do that, I suppose. I get that's all set up. Which also means, I also for an hour because my computer crashed. Okay, some programs on my computer crashed because lack of storage and memory. I cleaned up a bunch of stuff on the computer, restarted, and now we have to do a bit of a speed run. But yes, there's what we have to do for the write and selling team. Well, I have to go in a couple hours because of the construction, but yes. Yeah. So I should probably make the chat a little bit bigger in future streams. And that's something for me to think about after today's stream. So let's just get started. I already updated the DPS number. So the DPS to beat here is 58,000, basically. I'm not going to reiterate everything we'll be doing, but just know that TLDR, 5-minute run per team, until, like, not exactly 5 minutes, we'll wait for the rotation to end. It could be a few seconds before, it could be a little bit after. And then we take the DPS number, and also we have infinite energy, so that if I screw up a rotation in the middle, it won't cook me from that point onwards. Anyways, let's get started, I suppose.
微光无射，放下武器，束手就擒。收起来吧。
Can now actually catch a few healing ticks on Xiangling. There we go. Hopefully Xiangling caught on to a decent amount of damage on this. I think Xiangling was missing a stack. But yeah, I forgot that you actually had spare time in the rotation.
无处遁逃。
It's me, or is my own stream lagging? Hopefully, it's not too bad.
意识永恒。
Can't tell whether it's just YouTube lagging or it's just lagging in general. I'll have to check back on Twitch because right now I'm checking the streams through YouTube, which is not something I usually do. But yeah, we are well over 58k.
皓影看破，放下武器，绳之以法。
Try to catch a few ticks of healing. Okay, I think it's probably good enough. Yeah, okay, we basically got all the...
意识永恒。无处遁逃，不许动，束手就擒。开锅了，开锅了！
Alright, catch a few ticks.
有大家在身边，伤口就不会痛。见识下师傅的枪法。无念，断绝。放下武器。
A slightly suboptimal rotation.
光吧，喷火。该总攻击了。好，讲不通就打扁了。
Spending the extra fuel time on Xiangling is fine because the Xiangling's cooldown is a little bit longer than like the minimum time the rotation allows for anyways. So we might as well spend that time collecting some of the damage bonus stacks on Xiangling to snapshot it.
见识下师傅的枪法。此刻，寂灭之时。 微光无射。
Yeah, slightly suboptimal rotations here, but it's fine.
光吧，喷火。我来保护大家。讲不通就打扁
Maybe
了。
slightly too optimal if I wait for like too many healing ticks on Xiangling.
绳之以开锅了，开锅了！哼，该总攻击了。嘿哈！无念，断绝。无处遁逃，最后通牒，必要武力。我来保护大家。讲不通就打扁了。
I think we lost 20 damage bonus on Xiangling there, but shouldn't be the end of the world. Raiden is still the majority of damage after all. Raiden is hella like oversaturated on whatchamacallit, on damage bonus, but it is what it is. That was a poor rotation I ran because I should not have just sent the Bennett ult. Yeah, I think I still sent that Bennett ult way too early. At least we got a very good amount of damage bonus on Xiangling there. I sometimes forget that I have C2 Raiden, so I should actually care more about Raiden damage than Xiangling damage. Anyways, this will be our last rotation. Yeah, I think we could have gotten a little bit of better number here if we properly locked in on the rotation, but yeah, like it could definitely hit 64k at least, probably 65k, but like, it is what it is. We could always revisit this by the end if we have extra time. But yeah, about also around 10% DPS increase because it's on the lower end. Because, well, Xiangling does do a decent amount of the off-field damage, but also it's more just that Raiden already through Emblem has a lot of damage bonus already. So damage bonus is just more of a oversaturated stat on Raiden. Anyways, next up we have Clorinde Overload, which is our first team here that at C5 already breaks 60k. So this should be also just another step up on the DPS, right? So we have Clorinde Overload with Durin, so we'll check that out, I suppose. So the DPS to beat is 66k, which I don't know why I say it's DPS to beat, right? It's clearly going to beat the original number. That's how that works, right? Like, I've done nothing that will make the teams worse. So, of course it'll beat it. The question isn't whether it's going to beat the number. The question is how much it'll beat it by. So let me just switch on Twitch. I think YouTube has stopped lagging, but let me just, like, make sure that the lag is just YouTube. Because sometimes, I don't know, on my tablet, YouTube just lags a bit. Let's put, where's Durin? And there's Fischl. Alright. That's gonna be our team. Let's I can turn down the game volume a bit, just in case there's echoing. Alright, let's run it. Ooh, got the 6 going. Let's freaking go. I'm actually slightly warmed up on Clorinde because I did do a couple Clorinde runs when I redid the Moika runs off camera. But yeah, as you can see, we're pretty comfortably over 70k. Okay, apparently the rotation is actually too fast for Durin. That's good to know. Okay, I missed my skill, that's fine. I could have sworn I pressed skill, but... It is what it is. Okay, missed the timing slightly, but it's fine. What? I swear I pressed skill. I can't look over to see whether it showed on the overlay or not, but I swear I pressed skill. Weird. But this is going to be one of the teams that has a bit of a higher increase, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, this timing slightly. Yeah, for Cloren at this ping is really tough to get a 6 skill out. Again, I swear I pressed skill, but I guess it just doesn't count. I'm just gonna spam the skill a little bit. Because apparently tapping once doesn't do the job.
预备。
I guess it will be technically be a 7 skill rotation because usually you have a skill right off the bat. Actually, would it be? Yeah, because you will.
刚开始，黑之翼，
烈焰，射猎邪魔，
不许动，神之翼，
I'm not good at Cloren enough to like not stare at the health bar.
以断罪。
上膛，
For the bottom of life. So if this was an actual like combat where the enemy could attack you, I am so freaking dead because at least I'll get staggered a bajillion times because I'm not looking at the enemy at the slightest.
有危险，逆头的转折，
预备，
I think that first skill should have lost me the 7 skill. Yeah.
洞见恶念，灼灭鬼影，
不许动，神之翼，有危险，
故事才刚开始，
现身吧。
上膛，
Oh, she got
射
it.
猎邪魔，
Right? I did not
对
expect
付
that
通
to
敌
get it.，
束手就擒。
飞驰，
新生，顶之压，
It's probably the second to last rotation.
这，你的自证时刻，
The timing is weird.
神之翼，交给我。
飞驰，
新生，以断罪。
烈焰，洞见恶念，灼灭鬼影，
I think that ult at the end there might have been slightly cheating, but it's fine. What was the damage? 77985. Which brings us a decent 17% increase. That's an increase by 1/6. Somewhere between 1/6 and 1/5. So that's one of the better teams. Or like one of the teams that got increased more proportionally. Which is pretty good. Next up, we have 2 Raiden teams, right? We have Duran Bennett and Duran Fischl.
决斗代理人是我
So
的
let's
职
run
业，
those, I
我怎么
suppose.
想并不重要，因为握紧长剑之时，我代表的是枫丹的律法。
What's the number for that? I need to grab it real quick. 68,427. There we go. Oh yeah, I haven't tested whether the Hoyo font works now. Give me a moment. Nope, still doesn't work. Damn it. Back to Comic Sans. Even restarting my computer doesn't solve it. Alright, let me put the Genshin screen back on. So far, I do not believe I have forgotten to switch the screens yet, which is pretty good. Pretty good track record today. We are on our 7th team. Right, let me just double check it didn't forget on like YouTube or something. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm in the clear. Let's freaking go. So this is Raiden, Duran, Fischl. Alright. So the exact same team, but with Raiden. See? This is proof that because of the C5 DPS, Raiden was placed higher than Clorette. Raiden is better than Clorette. True. Never mind that my Clorette is horribly built and my Raiden is C2, alright? We agenda post out here. Also, is my avatar gone? That usually means there's some memory issues. Let me just make sure that that's not the case. Okay, it's a bit rough, but I think we're fine. There we go, resize that properly. Alright. Let's run it.
微光无射，必要无力，放下武器。故事才刚开始。道光，意识永恒。炮影看破，最后通牒，行之一。故事才刚开始。
日夜换线，
此刻，寂灭之时。
There we go. Actually not sure whether in this team Raiden will still be better than Cloren because as established above, I'm not writing a paper. As established before, Raiden is a bit oversaturated on damage bonus, so Raiden will probably get a less of a damage increase compared to Cloren from the 60% damage bonus. So this one will probably actually be worse than Cloren now. But which is unfortunate, but like it is what it is.
无处遁逃，放下武器，行之一，都是命途的转折。日夜无念，断绝。炮影看破，不许动。
Not necessarily. This team is kind of performing.
刚开始，
一如小姐。
此刻，寂灭之时。 微光无视，最后通牒，行之一。
Okay, it's competitive. It's kind of competitive right now. Not gonna lie.
意识永恒。放下武器，束手。
Even with the fact that I'm screwing up most of my writing rotations, but I guess I was missing the last go on most of Cloren's rotation, so like kind of equalizes on that.
无处遁逃，行之一，交给我。命途的转折，以断罪。道光，意识永恒。微光无视。
Yeah, no, this team is performing. Holy, should have never doubted Raiden. My apologies.
此刻，寂灭之时。
Raiden the goat.
炮影看破，交给我。
Now, are we still very much on the bottom half of all the teams? We're trying? Yes, but like...
意识永恒。
That's fine. Almost like getting to 80k. I don't think we're gonna quite get there, but you never know. I doubted Raiden before and I've been wrong, so...
一完，微光无视，放下武器。这故事才刚开始。
顶之压，
此刻，寂灭之时。一完，一完，不许动！
Getting locked
必
in
要无
right
力
now.
交给我。命途的转折，
至夜换线，
无念，断绝。
Taking a last rotation.
放下武器，神之衣，交给我。故事才刚开始。
黑之翼，
道光，意识永恒。一完，一完。
Okay, yeah, I never should have doubted her. I should never doubt her. She is the ghost. The almighty Narukami Gosho, God of Thunder. Should have never doubted. The number would have turned out to be 81,902? 20% DPS increase. And I guess this again shows the difference between single carry versus multi-carry, right? Because sure, Durin's there, but like Durin did Durin did do a decent amount of team DPS, but like, okay, I actually don't know why this is so much better than the Xiaoling team. I guess Xiaoling just doesn't do a good job at snapshotting. I don't know. Anyways, there's... Oh, I realized I mixed the teams up. This is supposed to go above. Oh, so that's why the numbers seem so much higher. Okay, never mind. Wait, hold up. Why does that number not work?
百千年依旧，人之在世，却如白露与泡影。
Okay, let's try typing it here instead. Okay, it's 11%. That explains a lot. Okay, never mind. Yeah, never mind. The number to beat there was 73,000. I did the wrong team. 11% makes a lot more sense. Okay. Okay, I was like, why is this... it shouldn't be doing so good. Okay, now we run the beta team, and... I mean, hey, this is, like, less split team DPS, which theoretically is good. So maybe this will get close to 80k as well. I don't know. Hopefully. Okay, I'm coping. It's probably... okay. This will probably perform worse than Claret then. But, like... It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I mixed up the teams. Whoops. We get replaced. Fisher was Bennett. And let's run it back. I doubt Kujo would do better than Bennett. Yeah. Like, putting Kujo here might be an option, but like, we can test these other teams after we've done the comparisons, maybe, some point later. I can do that on my own time. The point of this stream is comparing the C5 to the C6, and now that we have all the C5, we're comparing the C6s. So, yeah, let's run it.
真的在救我吗？
This will probably perform a little worse than the last team, but probably not by that far. This 70k on the first rotation is not bad at all.
命途的转折，
该走攻击了。
道光，意识永恒。一完，一完，泡影看破，束手就擒。 故事才刚开始。
有大家在身边，伤口就不会痛。
无面断绝，无处遁逃，必要无力，有危险。扶持新生，
我来保护大家。
道光，意识永恒。不许动，束手就擒，交给我。故事才刚开始。
有大家
Get
在
him
身
locked
边，
in.
伤口就不会痛。
无面断绝，
As Archon's main, I can't freaking skill issue that much on Raiden, or else it's a really bad look.
微光无视，最后通牒，必要无力。当心，故事才刚开始。
我来保护大家。
道光，意识永恒。无处遁逃，放下武器，束手就擒。当心，故事才刚开始。
有大家在身边，伤口就不会痛。
此刻，寂灭之时。奥影看谱，最后通牒，必要无力。当心，逆头的转折。
该走攻击了。
道光，意识永恒。微光无视，束手就擒。当心，扶持新生。
收起来吧，我来保护大家。
此刻，寂灭之时。无处遁逃，必要无力。
Might get close to breaking DK, but I don't think that's
有大家在身边，伤口就不会痛。
无面断绝。奥影看谱，不许动。绳之以扶持新生。
该走攻击了。
道光，意识永恒。微光无视，放下武器，必要无力。有危险，逆头的转折。
有大家在身边，伤口就不会痛。
此刻，寂灭之时。奥影看谱，绳之以当心，扶持新生。
我来保护大家，收起来吧。
无面断绝。 最后通牒，束手就擒。当心，逆头的转折。
该走攻击了。
此刻
I'm not commentating because I'm just really locked in.
无处遁逃。绳之以
But apparently, yeah, I really tend to underestimate how much the DPS will ramp up over 5 minutes.
道光，意识永恒。奥影看谱，束手就擒。有危险，逆头的转折。
有大家在身边，伤口就不会痛。
Probably second to last rotation?
寂灭之时。微光无视，放下武器，必要无力。交给我，扶持新生。
该走攻击了，收起来吧。
道光，意识永恒。
Alright, so yeah, Ashley managed to break 80k. Okay, so this is one of the teams that's probably had a bit more of a DPS increase. Right, it has more of a DPS increase than the official team because Bennett means that more of the damage, Raiden contributes more to the damage to begin with, and as established, right, teams with a higher on-field DPS contribution will tend to have a bigger increase in performance. with C6 Chevy. So we see that, yeah, there we go. That's closer to, that's actually above, a little bit above where the increase to Cloren's DPS is. Because again, right, I forgot that, like, the prediction that the official teams are gonna have less of an increase to Cloren was true because Raiden is more oversaturated, not overcapped. There's no cap on damage bonus, but more oversaturated on damage bonus, right? But the fact that having Bennett having Fischl actively deconcentrates team DPS from Raiden because Fischl has good personal damage, whereas Bennett have next to no personal damage while increasing Raiden's own damage, right? So that will just push it more, yeah. So C6 Chevy will like that kind of team better. So yeah, so far we've seen that's mostly between 10 to 20%, most of the teams. So now we move on to the 3 Arlecchino teams, which all performed very similarly to another. So this is another, this is stepping up in the 70s and 80s DPSs. Arlecchino Overload, yeah, it's pretty consistently like around 80k DPS. So this is where we're gonna at least start getting close to the 6 digits. Ideally, right? Arlecchino would hit 6 digits on one of these teams, and like, I probably should have had Arlecchino Bennett Fischl on one of these. I don't know why I didn't. Yeah. Oh no, I do have Beneficial on one of these teams. Okay, never mind. That's actually the worst performing one. I feel like that team will perform a lot better. Maybe not a lot. We'll see, because there is Fischl there, and Fischl doesn't really get buffed by the C6 that much. I don't know. We'll find out ourselves, I guess. So, yeah, let's start running those, I suppose. Also, again, very interesting that of the 7 top teams, right? There's a clear gap between the 97k and the 84k here, right? Of the 7 top teams, 6 of those includes Moika, and the only one that doesn't is Resadur. So yeah, once we get to the Moika teams, the DPS are gonna shoot up quite a bit, hopefully. Because, right, we're tracking proportional damage increase, but the higher the base damaging the base damage is, the absolute increase in damage also increases, because 10% at 50k is 5k, 10% at 150k is 15k, right? Actually didn't take a look at what team is supposed to be next. The Bennett Arlecchino team, right? Yeah, Bennett Arlecchino. Alright, let me update the DPS number. I'll switch the POV over. Yeah, alright. Enough yappage. So what is this gonna be? No Durin. It's just gonna be Arlecchino, Bennett, and Fischl. Like this. Alright. I have not warmed up to the N3D teams at all because, well, yeah, there's no Overload team that puts Arlecchino and Moika together. I mean, I could put them together, right? Arlecchino, Moika, Yansan, plus Chevy, but, like, there's no point to run that team, I feel like. Because that's just basically a Moika team at that point. And if you on-field one over the other, it'd be better if you just, like, replace the other DPS with someone else. Right? But they both have way too long of field time to work in a single rotation. Together. Alright, let's start, I suppose.
以断罪，
束手就擒，不许
有大家在身边，伤口就不会痛。回应我吧。
贯穿。
First rotation CPS kind of cooked because Fischl runs out early in the first rotation because you need that Fischl for the initial attack proc. But the Fischl uptime should be a bit better in all subsequent rotations.
展现生之一，
有大家在身边，伤口就不会痛。
一如小姐所。
I mean, yeah, we're well over 80k. That's to be expected.
否决，必要无力。
该走攻击了，现身吧！啊，
We hit 90k is a question.
展现，放下武器，束手就擒。
我来保护大家。啊，置业。
Also, I'm kind of failing at these N3 castles.
最后通牒，生之一，
该走攻击了。哦，
展现，放下武器，束手就擒。
我来保护大家。
Also, yeah, I'm doing Chevreuse here because sometimes when I send the rotation like without that, and I just send it without thinking too much, I sometimes the setup goes too fast, and I don't end up picking.
最后通牒，
I kind of
生之一，
Arlecchino's Bond of Life doesn't mature before I
以断
collect.
罪之。
Yeah, I don't think 90k is happening here, but I've been wrong several times before, as you see this stream.
贯穿，放下武器，束手就擒。
有大家在身边，伤口就不会痛。黑之翼，
否决，最后通牒，必要无力。
该走攻击了。
You probably don't need a Chevreuse if I put a few Arlecchino normals after skilling.
贯
I
穿，
just skill early. Do a few here. I can probably just. I tapped. I freaking
伤口就
tapped.
不会痛。置业换线，
否决，最后通牒，
我来保护大家。哦，
放下武器，
该走攻击了。啊，
一如小。
展现，生之一，
Probably
有
should
大家
have
在
kept
身
over
边
there.，
伤口就不会痛。
And also, I swear I put that charge attack, but it's fine.
贯穿，不许动，
该走攻击了。哦，顶之压，
放下武器，必要无力。
Arlecchino
有大
for a
家在
little
身
too
边
long，there.
伤口就不会痛。以断罪之。
Probably sang the last rotation.
否决，最后通牒，束手就擒。
该走攻击了。啊，
置业。
Alright, 87k, that's pretty good. So that would go here. 87842. 17% increase. That's pretty good. Closer to 20 than it is to 10. I think that's generally going to be the trend. Probably somewhere around 10 to 20% DPS increase. Alright, I guess now we try the same thing with Yansan. I feel like Yansan will probably get a little bit less of an increase compared to Bennett on the count of part of Yansan's value, right? Is that Yansan doesn't give quite as much attack as Bennett, but Yansan gives 40 damage bonus from Center City, and damage bonus, as I mentioned, is a little more oversaturated. Right? The 40% makes it. So Chevy C6 is going to be a little bit less of a deal, is what I'm thinking? What I'm assuming, at least.
热身完毕。
Yeah, let's just run this, I suppose. Oh, let me switch this back, and then you can update the DPS number. What is the DPS number? 81469. Okay, probably still be better just because the base number is much higher, but... the proportionality is probably going to be a little bit worse. 81 what? 81469. Is what the Excel sheets say. I have trouble speaking sometimes. Just to make sure I have the team right? Yansan official, yes, Yansan official. Alright, let's just run it. I just have to do dash backward now, which shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's gonna make the dash cancels a lot more meaningful. I lost the attack buff on the first rotation, but it's fine. But yeah, it makes setting a dash as soon as I could a lot more important.
不许动！风驰电掣，动作要标准，听我的口。炙夜换线。
展现。束手就擒。
And Yansan cooldown is long, so we have to go for that.
贯穿，必要无力，听我的口号。
一如小姐所愿。
Try to use a skill. The fact that a skill brings me back, so use a skill instead of a dash.
生之音更快更强，动，现身吧！
否决。最后通牒，束手就擒。
Once again, this is a team that cares about stamina management. It's a little cringe, but it's fine.
贯穿，放下武器，必要无力。
风驰电掣，计时开始，以断罪。
Nope. Good.
束手就擒，
更快更强，听我的口号。
一如小姐。
Go far away. So that contributes to Yansan's distance.
否决。最后通牒，生之音，
动作要标准，动起来，现身吧！
放 下武器，必要武力。
风驰电掣，计时开，黑之翼。
Again, go a bit further away so that Arlecchino auto targets back in. That adds a bit more to Yansan.
贯穿。最后通牒，生之音，
调整呼吸，听我的口。
It's great that I'm a bit far away to begin with.
否决。不许动，束手就擒。
动作要标准，计时开。
一如小
And
姐
go away, and go back in. Every bit counts.
阵线。放下武器，必要武力。
动起来，以断罪之。
Oh, slightly hesitated there. It's fine. Cook my attack buff, but not much I can do about it.
否决。束手就擒。
更快，更强，听我的口号。黑之翼。
Again, go away, and then go back in. Probably could have gone a bit further away, honestly.
阵线。必要武力。
调整呼吸，计时开始。置业换。
否决。不许动，束手就擒。
风驰电掣，听我的口号。
Probably last rotation. 91k. That's our first number that broke 90k. That's pretty good. So we have 91836. Proportionally though, because as the numbers get bigger, 10k DPS increases become less and less significant. Right? That's 12%, which is a lot less than the Bene buff. To be fair, I didn't play that great. I'm pretty sure my dash cancels were not exactly that optimal. But part of the reason is also just, yeah, part of Yansan's worse is that instead of 1100 attack, it's like, okay, neither Bene or Yansan has crown. So Bene gives like 1100 attack, Yansan gives like almost 800. But the trade-off is that instead of 350 attack, you get 40% damage bonus, and that deal becomes a little less lucrative when you already have 60 damage bonus from Chevy's Sigma Jiggity, Chevy C6, right? So there's that. And then we have Official Durin, which I don't know, probably it's gonna be closer to 10% than 20% is what I'm gonna predict, but I have been wrong before, I could be wrong again. So let's see it. And also, I guess Arlecchino to begin with have like... Okay, if you have 4-piece Harmonic Whimsy, it'll be like 54% damage bonus? I'm glad, so it's 35% instead. Here's what I pull out Yansan for Durin. There we go.
大家好，
That's
我
the
是
team,
杜
right?
林。
Seems like it. All right. Let me just check what number do we have to beat? Well, okay, I keep saying that. Like I said, it's not. We're gonna beat that number. But what number are we gonna improve upon? A4, 1, A3. And this is a team, this is a team. Alright, let's run it. It's probably gonna have, if I have to guess, probably even less of an increase than the other team. But again, I have been wrong. What the hell did that skill go?
最后通牒，必要武力，扶持新生，当心！
又来了。
贯穿，不许动！当心！扶持新生，
置业换。
否决！束手就擒，交给我。故事
I forgot to activate infinite energy. Uh-oh.
以断罪之名，
Okay, if we run into energy issues, we just reset with infinite energy. There are a few teams in here that doesn't care about energy as much, or at least is like decently energy self-sufficient. And for those teams, it's fine if we don't run with infinite energy because it doesn't make a difference. This might not be one of those teams. Any team with Stern is already a bit suspect on the energy front. I mentioned the why in the before my stream crashed, but
逆头的转折，
basically, if Durin misses out on particles, I have to rely on his own particles. His own particles take like 3 seconds to reach him, and that's just okay, like 2 seconds, and that's just extends the DPS or like your rotation time by watch that, like that's like 2 seconds. Okay, maybe not 2 seconds, but it increases your DPS by like your rotation time by 1 second. So in like a 18-second rotation, your DPS just goes down by more than 5%. So let's just restart that.
贯穿，
现身吧！
最后通牒，束手就擒，扶持新生，
回应我吧！
I should have just switched Ultra there, honestly.
否决，放下武器，必要武力，当心！扶持新生，
一如小姐所愿。
This is the first team that has a potential to break 6 digits. And I'm pretty sure every single digit from here on out is gonna break 6 digits, for sure. This is the only team that's like, might break 6 digits. Right? Every digit, and every team from this force has a baseline of like at least 97k, so... This is the only team that like has a suspense of, oh, is this gonna hit 100? Right, is it gonna hit 6 digits?
交给我。
置业换现。
贯穿，不许动！绳之一，交给我！逆头的转折，
一如小姐所。
I think that depends entirely on how optimized my dash cancels are.
放下武器，必要武力，交给我！故事才刚开始。
黑之翼，
不许动！绳之以法，逆头的转折，
现身吧！哦，
Sometimes if I like input the charge attack before the character fully switches, I have to input another charge attack, and that's low-key kind of annoying.
放下武器，必要武力，扶持新生，当心！
一如小。
This will probably fall a little short of 100k if I have to guess. If nothing else, because of my skill issues.
就行。逆头的转折，有危险！
以断罪。
贯穿。最后通牒，必要武力。
Like I said, skill issues. I did way too many into these there.
黑之翼。
Although I am pushing the Arlecchino skill earlier and earlier in the rotation, if you haven't noticed. So maybe we can get a rotation with a bajillion bottom life soon.
新生，
日夜唤。
否决。最后通牒，必要武力。有危险！故事才刚开始。
影之压。
贯穿。不许动，束手就擒。当心！故
I'm
事
gonna try to get Arlecchino skill a bit
否决。
earlier.
现身吧。
Trying something fancy with Arlecchino skill. Yeah, see, there we go. We got an entire Arlecchino skill. We saved an entire Arlecchino skill across 4 minutes. That's crazy. Now we are starting on max spawner life. Holy Arlecchino optimization. This is a tech Arlecchino mace I want you to know about.
不许动，束手就擒。逆头的转折，交给我。
黑之翼。
Now we just have yeah. We have a slightly higher starting model life now as well, just because of that. For each rotation. This is probably the second to last rotation. I probably want to run one more rotation.
最后通牒。
But yeah, there we go. That I think that saving of a skill single-handedly brought us very securely over 100k. Like very comfortably over 100.
贯穿。
Alright, there's our first 6-digit team. Now, given part of that, this did I not put the previous number in here? No, this is the previous number. Given, okay, this number is the percent increase will be heavily inflated by the fact that I very much did not do this tech when I did C5. I did not realize you could do this. This is a very on the spot improvisation. I could do this run again later, maybe without that change. Okay, just for reference, we were hovering like around like 99, 98k with that. So if it were 99k, it would still be a comfortable 17% optimization. But holy, that was good. That was some good stuff. I cooked. I think people just don't know this because or like don't teach, even they found out they don't tell each other this because you're never gonna have a scenario where you need to like Arlecchino DPS for like 4 minutes straight. Like something has gone horribly wrong if the enemy is not dead in 4 minutes. But yeah, all right, there we go. There's our 100k. With that tech, it actually beats a Bennett variant of Arlecchino Benefa. Still a tiny bit short of the Sucrose version of Benefa, but like, that's pretty damn good. No? That's a pretty damn good team, if I do say so myself. So there we go, we got that. Now, Clarend Overload. This is our first team with Moika. It will definitely not be the last. So let me just change the DPS numbers on the scene I'm about to pull up. 97819. There we go. Actually, I'm going to quickly go to the washroom and grab some water, so I'll be back in like 2 minutes. But I think right now we are on schedule to get everything done here before 7 happens. Just barely, so yeah, I'll be right back. There's 7 more runs. That's going to take 35 minutes plus however much I stall in between. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. But I'll be right back.
不要一直盯着我的眼睛，不保证你会看到什么。孩子们在做什么？算了，由他们去吧。不要一直盯着我的眼睛，不保证你会看到什么。孩子们在做什么？算了，由他们去吧。
All right, and we are back. So yeah, now we are firmly in the 6-digit territory, right? Well, I mean, if you look at if I switch back, right? It's pretty clear that, like, even though sure the C5 DPS is 97k, even if we just have a 5% DPS increase, that brings us over 100k, right? So that's gonna happen, and I think the best Cloren Benefa team is at 97,988, if I'm right here. Which means this is definitely going to be better than Benefa. But to be fair, the remaining Cloren teams all have a week in it, so I think we're just switching out one wheelchair for the other. But like, let's not think about it that way. Let's not think that hard about it. So let's just continue on, and yeah. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, crazy tech I found out on Arlecchino. That was wild. Because I just realized I can push Arlecchino's skill up 1 in 3D every rotation. And you only need 1 rotation where in the middle of your setup you Arlecchino skill. And then you can push your Arlecchino skill up an entire rotation. Which just gives you a bajillion more bond of life, which gives you a lot more damage. Anyways, now we will be running the Clorend Moika team was Auron, and I'm pretty sure it would be better for me to go Auron into Moika. Like,
如你所要。
Chevreuse into Auron into Moika is probably the way to do it. And then Clorend? We'll see. The DPS increase for this team is probably going to be less than the DPS increase on the Yangsan team. Actually, I don't know. That might not be true. I might be spreading misinformation. I don't freaking know. Let's just send it. Oh yeah, infinite energy. Bam.
射猎邪魔，不许动，束手就擒。
再见了，来，跟大家问好。
动力全开，
I'll do a few spin on it.
预备
Why，not?
洞见恶孽，逐灭鬼影，最后通牒，生之一，
帮我四处看看，放生。
无赦仙
There we
果。
go. Wow, DPS just goes up the longer I stay up on Moika. Who would have known?
加速了，烈影，
Ah,
你的自证时刻，
last skill's fine.
放下武器，必要武力，
去吧，你自由了，别跑。
埋葬于赤焰之下。Go！ Go！
Yep, we broke 100k. Wow.
动力全，射猎邪魔，预备，
Who would have expected? Okay, so there we go. Actually got the 7th skill now.
帮我四处看看，放生。
恭听太阳的轰鸣，湮灭。
Oh yeah, we are breezing past 100 now the second I bring Moika here.
你的自证时刻，
Okay, missed the
必要武力，
7th skill by a tiny bit.
跟大家问好。
That's what it is.
赤焰之下，湮灭。Go！ 谁要洞见恶孽，逐灭鬼影，
Definitely missing the 7th skill with that start. Holy.
放下武器，生之一，
去吧，你自由了，放生。
恭
I mean,
听
we're gonna be able to
太
break
阳的
110k
轰鸣
for sure.
Go！ Go！ 射猎邪魔，
Yeah, I greeded a little bit of fuel time there on I believe it. It's fine.
不许动。
I tapped. I tapped. It's over. I freaking tapped.
湮灭。
Most people watching this probably knows, but let me just reiterate, you are supposed to hold skill on Chevy or you lose the 40% attack buff she gives.
生之一法，
放生，去吧，你自
埋葬于赤焰之下，湮灭。Go！
Wonder if it's better to do 3 skills on Moika instead of 2 skills.
上头，
Probably better to do 2 skills because that keeps the rotation shorter and the buff up time longer.
必要武力，放下武器，
来，跟大家
I'm
问好。
doing very optimized
无
pro
赦仙果，
rotations, so to be fair. Might be better to
湮灭。
have more Moika field time, but I'm gonna be principled and say that this is still a Clorend team, so I should at least give Clorend like proper field time.
最后通牒，束手就擒。
Oh, kind of it's not locked in enough to do the 7th skill Clorend rotations.
Go！ 动力全开，
Yeah, this feels very much just like a 110k DPS team. I actually got the 7th
不许
skill.
动，
I didn't
必要
expect
武
that.
力，
放生，帮我四处看看。
We actually got
埋
it.
葬于赤焰之下。
She got the 7 skills there. That's crazy. Okay, I greeted again because I
你的
wasn't paying
自证时
attention.
刻，预备，
I don't think it makes much of a difference on DPS number anyways.
最后通牒，束手就
Yeah,
擒。
it really doesn't.
去吧，以自
恭听太阳的轰鸣。湮灭，
Okay, sometimes it's hard to like switch out of Moika when she's on the bike.
放下武器，生之一，
再见了，来，跟大家问，
无赦天火。
It's like butcher the start of those enemy castles,
共
but
进
it's
恶孽，
fine.
逐灭鬼影。
Probably last rotation. Yeah, that's definitely last rotation. Wasn't looking at the time. Alright, that's 112k. Which means it was a pretty good 15% DPS increase. That's pretty good. Alright, next up, our last non-Moika team. You will be seeing a lot more of Moika from after this next one. But Vressa Overload was stirring. I thought I should rename these teams. Was Moika O for Auron. I for Yansan. There we go. Having 2 brackets look weird. Just I dot. And O dot. Alright, so from here on out, our baseline is over 100k. Because Vressa Overload did manage to barely break 100k when we played it. When we played the team last night. So let's try that, I suppose. We do need to speed things along here. As we rapidly approach 7 AM when the construction workers get here. So let's just get it set up quickly. Vressa during Yansan.
开心起来啦！
Let's freaking run it. Don't think we need infinite energy, but if we do, we restart. Actually, yeah, I need to change it. Not just because infinite energy, but also for Vressa, I need to get the Ruin Guards because sometimes Vressa the auto targeting can just make her dash too far away through the middle troll, and then she will just plunge into nothing. So you need to account for that.
生之一法，逆头的转折，有危险，更快，更强，
And here again, we'll try to limit to 2 mini bursts per rotation.
不许动，必要武力，当心！风驰，新生，风驰电掣，计时开始。
看我的正正道！呵，说了，正正道！正正道！
放下武器，故事才刚开始，有危险，更快，更强，正正道！
might sometimes forget and discount and do 3 mini burst rotation, but I would genuinely try to avoid that.
阵飞，
Yeah, I'll try to count how many mini bursts we did.
冲锋，头锤，看我的，正道，
不许动，故事才刚开始。
风驰电掣，动起来，嘿，看我的，嘿，呀，从天而降，英雄登场，头锤，正道，
放下武器，逆头的转折，
调整呼吸，亲我的口，抓，嘿，头锤，嘿，哼，英雄登场。
最后通牒，飞驰，新生，有危险。
Wondering it's better for me to do 5 punches or 6 punches rotation. We'll find out, I suppose.
正道，
Might be slightly better if I do 5
要武
punches.
力，
No, the Durance and Yansang's cooldown gets cooked if I do that.
英雄登场，头锤，
If I do 2 charge plunges, it'll be fine. I just have to like work something out.
从天而降，
放下武器，束手就擒，交给我，
Yeah, 2 charge plunges are fine.
新生，
听我的口号，英雄登场，
But yeah, this is not gonna be fine, is it?
抓，冲锋，嘿，正道，
This. Can we do this?
不许动，绳之以当真，故事才刚开始。
调整呼吸，计时看，冲锋，嘿，抓，冲锋，头锤，冲锋。
放下武器，束手就擒，
I don't know.
交给我，
I'm just vibing the rotations. Vibe-based rotations.
动起来！
Yeah, probably should be doing those last. That was not a good play.
不许
It
动，
seems like whatever I do, the DPS is hovering around the same number.
新生，有危险，
风驰电掣，听我头锤，嘿，呵，抓，正道，呵，
放下武器，束手就擒，逆头的转折，
更快更强，动起来！
I should have just done the second charge plunge.
冲锋，呀，头锤，正道，呀，冲锋，
绳之以法，飞驰，新生，
调整呼吸，听我的口，抓，英雄登场，呵，头锤，看我的，英雄登场，
I should just do 2 charge plunge here.
最后通牒，必要武力，故事才刚开始。
更快更强，动，呀，嘿，呀，嘿，头锤，冲锋，
Do 1 charge plunge here.
放下武器，绳之以
I don't know. I'm just testing out all the cooldowns and stuff.
风驰电掣，
Well, yeah, that seems to
计
be
时开始
fine. And I have to do 1 charge plunge here to make sure I
冲锋，
don't waste
呀，
anything.
抓，正道，呀，头锤，冲锋，
Okay. Yeah, that's around where the DPS is hovering. I don't think I lost DPS by experimenting with rotation there. At least I didn't lose much. Anyways, I think the DPS increase there is pretty self-explanatory, right? 14k, 14% DPS. This is probably the easiest one to just do in your head in terms of DPS calculation. But yeah. There we go. 14.19%. Pretty good. Next up, yeah, it's all Moika from here on out, right? Moika, 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 Moika. I like how slot 2 is like just filled with Chevy because you would usually put Chevy in slot 2. But then for the rest of the Moika team, because you can go rest a field time and then go to Moika field time, the setup actually starts on slot 3. Right? You do 1, 2, 3, 4, except it's actually like the setup is 3, 4, and then 1 and then 2. Because when I make like my team order, I like to unga bunga 1, 2, 3, 4. Which is why I cannot for the life of me get used to any more Lani rotations. Anyways, next up is Chlorend Overload with Yansan. Hopefully it's gonna be a decent increase. Probably gonna be around 15% again, if I have to be like completely honest with you. I mean, if we do get 15%, it will break 120k. So that'll be our first over 120k team. So let's just go for that, I suppose. Again, can't stall for too long. We are on 45 minutes to clear 5. I think we are on schedule. We are on schedule to clear everything before 7. So it's what? Chlorend. Chevreuse. Yansan Moika. Alright. Moika from here on out is never leaving the team. Alright, let's start it. Yeah, we don't get Moika right off the bat. Okay, pretty good. Okay, I tapped there, which was not very good. And my Yansan has like no nice soul, but it's fine because again, this is early rotations, right? That's what the rest of the 4.5 minutes is for. I am missing the second part of that, that's fine. I forgot the skills, I have to put that in because I will lose the Death Shred and the Red Shred without it. Right, Moika C2 gives Death Shred, and of course Chevy gives Red Shred.
最后通牒。
With Chevreuse and Yangsang's healing, Fish actually making the 7 skills rotation a bit easier to do just because it helps charge up the bottom life a bit quicker.
你的自证时刻，预备。神之一法，不许更快更强，请恭听太阳的轰鸣。湮灭要加速了。
And get that last finisher, but it's fine. And
上头。
rushing the Moika combos a little bit.
必要武力，风驰电掣，听我无射天火。
I definitely didn't play this team the best. So that's going to reflect the numbers, but
湮灭，动力全开。你的自证时刻，烈影。 放下武器，神之一，更快更强。
I don't even need to Chevreuse on this team, honestly. Chevreuse probably just a wasting time.
湮灭要加速了，射猎邪魔，上膛。必要武力，调整呼吸，计时开，无射天火。 谁要阻拦？洞见恶念，逐灭鬼影，烈影。最后通牒，神之一，更快更强，听恭听太阳的轰鸣。
Probably like the last rotation here.
动力全开，
Oh, frick.
你
Okay,
的自
that
证时刻
probably lost me a bunch of DPS.
上膛。
Yeah, I lost a few the damage roll
放下武器，
around. It's
必要武
fine.
力，调整呼吸。
Then the next rotation, this will be the last one.
之下。 射猎邪魔。
Again, sometimes there's just a delay on switching characters when you're on multi-spike. Alright. Stop the timer a half second too late, but it's fine. This team has a relatively less TPS increase, I felt like, compared to the few previous teams. Right, 11%, very modest. But that seems to be like the theme, right? Again, between 10 and 20%. Unless, you know, your name is Razor, in which case like, you get a crazy increase from C6 Chevy. Oh, what did I just do? I have no clue what button I just pressed, but it did something. Let me just undo that. Anyways, let's see. Who died? No one did. Okay. Oh. Well, 07. How good was this? You gotta start with DPS by increase at the end? That'd be interesting to see. Sure. Because, yeah, apparently Razor just gets crazy increases, whereas everyone else is very, like, modest 10 to 20%. And also, Arlecchino Overload is a bit of an outlier, because I figured out, like, I reached Nirvana, I realized a way to save an entire skill. So, yeah. Anyways, we'll be doing Raiden Overload next. Again, we have to just keep chugging along. Plot C5 DPS versus percent increase. That is okay. We'll see if we have time at the end of today's stream to do statistics. I highly doubt it. We have like 40 something minutes to do 4 teams. That's a little cooked. But Raiden was Yansang Moika.
我怎么想并不重要。
Right? Is that?
因为握紧长剑之时，我代表
Oh wait, hold up.
律法与规则。
Nope, not. That's not what I meant to mark down. This is what I meant to mark down. There we go. Because there's Yansang Moika's the only Raiden Moika team. If I just recopy down the data and do it yourself, you could if you want. It is on the screen. Alright, so what is the number? I have to change, what's the newest C5 number? 107809. Bam, bam. There we go. Alright. Is this team going to perform better or worse than the Cloran team we just ran? Probably better if I have to guess. I don't know. The answer is I don't know. I have to imagine better. Because I think it would need to have a less than 10% DPS increase to be worse. Which, I think only one team has had a less than 10% DPS increase.
此刻，寂灭之时，嘿，嘿，嘿，嘿，放下武器，必要武力，风驰电掣。
Okay, I have to wait this out here a
听
little
我的口
bit.
号，无赦天国。湮灭，要加
Wow.
无念，
DPS goes up when Moika's on field. Also, I was so far away. Holy. Also, DPS goes down when Raida's on field. That is crazy.
更快更强，都埋葬于赤焰之下。湮灭，谁要主？
This team does better than
寂灭之时，
the Cloran team just because there's actual consistent off-field electro when Moika's on field. So, the rest actually comes through on Moika's
束
field
手
time.
就擒。计时开，恭听太阳的轰鸣。湮灭，
It's okay. If Raida performed earlier, it's fine. She gets to sit back on the wheelchair and relax
断
now.
绝。
Okay, I didn't get that. I ran out of stamina. Are we being for real?
必要武力，调整呼
Okay,
吸，听我的口，无赦天国。动力全开，
Okay, in that case, should I just extend the Moika rotation to 3 combos? Probably. That's probably gonna just be better.
最后通牒
Yeah.，
束手就擒，风驰电
Yeah,
掣
that's。probably just gonna be better, and I use Raiden as quick swap.
湮灭，
I just realized I forgot to write this skill. DPS loss.
湮灭，
God damn it.
微光无赦，无灭，
Like,
断
like
绝。
Alt N3 CD, right? That's probably just
神
the
之音
strat.，
调整呼吸，计时开，无赦天国。
Yeah, that's definitely the strat. Okay, well, I optimized the rotation, so
意识永恒，
that's gonna offset the data, but
放下武器，
I tapped.
必要武力。
It's fine. I'm making up for his skill issue.
更强，恭听太阳的轰鸣。
But yeah, that's the number is gonna be abnormally high. It's gonna be like the Arlecchino Overload team, where I just figured out attack while doing the damage.
湮灭，要加速了。奥影看破，此刻，寂灭之时，最后通牒，计时开
Yeah.，
无赦天国。
This is just basically a glorified Moika Overload team.
湮灭，湮灭，动力全开。
Like, at least for Cloran, I was doing a full combo. This I'm just doing a N3 CD and then switching out.
放下武器，生之音，风驰电掣，听我埋葬于赤焰之下。
Yeah, C6 Chevreuse also came with skill improvement. True, you get that for free when you get C6
湮灭，
Chevreuse.
此刻，寂灭之时，呀，
Do you know what would solve this?
必要武力。
Toggleable constellation. Then I can go back to C5 and run the same task.
恭听太阳的轰鸣。
Come on, Oyo, add it.
湮灭，
And he also tested with like
无处遁
C0
逃，
Moika.
断绝。
Okay, I'm going back to full Raiden rotations. I should not be doing this.
风之电掣，
Going for the consistent 5 cannon shots with C2 Duran? Yeah. W. Does Duran actually do that? I don't know what C2 Duran does.
动力全开，道光，意识永恒。
What the hell was that N4?
必要无力，更快更强，动起来！
恭听太阳的轰鸣。
Ah.
湮灭，
Also, it's nice that now I'm playing Moiki, I can look at chat while playing again.
断绝，
Because I could not do that while playing Arlecchino.
放下武器，
风之电掣，
即埋葬于赤焰之下。
Yeah, last rotation?
谁要阻？道光，意识永恒。
Alright, there we go. 1 and 3 CD. So let me just go in here and put a little asterisk next to Raiden. There we go. Wow, 24% DPS increase. Who could have seen this coming? Oh. That's stupid. That is so stupid. Yeah, guys, Raiden Overload clears Arlecchino Benefa. Oh my god. Anyways. Oh, why does this now have asterisks? No, that's not supposed to. Yo, where did this come from? Oh, right, I told, Google Sheets recommended, like, after I type the first two, go like, oh, do you want to just copy all the words from here? So all these texts are actually just the first word of all the things on the left copied over. So yeah, let me just change that. Yeah, Raiden asterisk overload. It's Raiden overload, except what's the damage distribution again? Yeah, let's not talk about that. 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 Moving on. Varese overload. With Moika. Here's where we kind of get to the big three, right? The three that's like the 3 overload team that does by far the most damage. The baseline is 143k, which is crazy. The baseline is higher than the current DPS on the Raiden team. We'll see where this goes. The goal, right? What I like to see is that this beats Nefer. Nefer is on 157k, so this needs a 10% increase. And as you can see, every single team other than the Xiaoling team here and the Klee team here has had a more than 10% DPS increase. So I believe this will happen. So yeah, Varese will probably be the second best DPS character on the account, although with the caveat that in the team, I'm pretty sure majority damage will be dealt by Moika. So technically, it is another Moika team, but like, let's just like. No, I'm not hating Nefer. I just like to see my teams on my account getting better. It's a benchmark. I'm not hating on Nefer. Nefer is a benchmark upon which all non-Moika carry teams can be compared to. Even though I guess this one is technically kind of Moika carry, but like, let's pretend it's a Varese team, alright? Let's pretend it's a Varese team. Like, it's a benchmark because Nefer is my second best DPS character on the account. Like, my Nefer hits like 157k. Like, I'm proud of that. I am proud of Nefer. Alright? 400 when she reruns and when I don't lose a 50-50. That's when. When those two things I just mentioned overlaps, that's when I get a survive. But yeah. So let's bring the team. All I have to do is swap out rest of Moika. Although I might do this. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick test, right? Does on-fielding Moika first or on-fielding Veressa first matter? On C5 Chevreuse, we found that it doesn't. We'll see whether C6 changes that. It probably is better for... Actually, it doesn't make a difference because Chevy's healing lasts long enough for rotation, right? I think. I don't know. But I think Moika will like the C6 buff more than Veressa because Veressa's Long Nice Oath also already gives 100% damage bonus, whereas Moika's doesn't get a set bonus that gives damage bonus. What if she reruns next patch? We just gotta channel the luck we got getting C6 Chevy. Right? But no, I doubt she will. Do I need infinite energy? I'll just grab it, just why not? Yeah, we're just gonna do a few quick rotations first. Let's just do 4 rotations on each. This is gonna be Veressa first. I should have switched to Rune Guard. Let's just pray that Veressa doesn't warp off to the middle of nowhere.
恭听太阳的轰鸣。放下武器，必要武力。听我的口。冲锋！呀！埋葬于赤焰之下。
Okay, I failed my weaken combo. That's fine. That's fine. This is fine.
束手就擒，调整呼吸，计时开。头锤，看我的！
This is actually the first time I failed a weaken combo today. That's crazy.
英雄登场！呀！无赦天火！
I did a lot of weaker runs, pre-stream.
动力全开！神之音，听我的口号！
Alright, let's just run until the end of this, and take into consideration that I did skill issue a lot.
埋葬于赤焰之下。
Okay, 144k DPS. With that caveat. And now we send Moika first. In terms of field time. So, what would this be? 1, 3, 4, 2, 1. Oh god, my brain is not gonna have fun with that one. Also, my left hand is starting to feel sore. From pressing all the direction keys. It's fine. I'm sure this is healthy.
点燃吧，不许动！风驰电掣，计时，无赦天火！
Okay.
湮灭！
Problem is, I don't think Moika will get good uptime on the restaurant if I do it this way.
烈日随我，放下武器，束手就擒，动起来！恭听太阳的轰鸣！湮灭！征告！
Once again, it might be just a case where it doesn't matter.
最后通牒！
It's trending that way.
强，计时，
Okay, I'm also skill issue on this one as well. Okay, it's fine.
湮灭！要加速！英雄登场！头锤！不许动！神之音，调整呼吸，听我的口，无赦天火！湮灭！湮灭！动力全！
说，英雄登场。嘿，
I think just straight up doesn't matter. That's my opinion. It just doesn't matter. I do not believe it matters. I'm pretty sure I did it in which order did I do it in the C5 run? I mean, I have it written down in this thing, so I'm just gonna run it in Verasa into Moika. But yeah, all right, let's freaking do it.
抛锤，
点燃吧！最后通牒，
更快更强。呀，说，
Hold up.
召告
Let's get this out of the way. There we go. Ruin Guard, because I do not believe in a span of 5 minutes Verasa is not gonna freaking glorp off to the middle of nowhere.
抛锤，
不许动！听我的口号，
冲锋。嘿，英雄登场。嘿，抛锤。嘿，
恭听太阳的轰鸣。
呵，呵，
必要武力，
风驰电掣，动起来。
For sure I don't need a Chevy all in this
英
team.
雄登场。呵，嘿，英雄登场。呀，
无赦天火！
呵，呵，
Okay, I think we're probably
最
beating
后
that.
通牒，调整呼吸，听我的口。
冲锋。呀，抛锤。呵，
埋葬于赤焰之下，湮灭！不许动！
更快更强。动，说，英雄登场。嘿，抛锤。召告。呀，
恭听太阳的轰鸣！
呵，
湮灭！动力全开，调整呼吸，听我的口。
说，哼，冲锋。呀，嘿，英雄登场。
埋葬于赤焰之下，湮
Okay,
灭！
that spin was slightly
湮
suboptimal.
灭！放下武
Moika
器，
Moika spins, you really rather the enemy not be in the middle of that
飞
circle.
冲锋。呀，抛锤。召
Because then it's really unpredictable when you will hit
恭
the
听太阳的轰
hit
鸣
them.。
呵，
不许动，束手就擒。
更快更强。动，召告。从天而降，召告。呵，
无赦天火！
呵，
No, whoops. Ugh.
放下武器，
计时开始。说，
I wish they make it easier to like switch off of Moika when she's on the bike, because sometimes it just doesn't go through.
恭听太阳的轰鸣。
And it's really annoying. Works fine in
谁
like
要阻拦？最后通牒，
Moika carry teams because Moika will usually be out of nice. Why did I do that for?
登场。抛锤。嘿，呵，
埋葬于赤焰之下，
呵，
湮灭！放下武器，生之鹰，
更快更强。说，英雄登场。阵飞。嘿，呀，
无赦天火！要加速了，不许动！
风驰电掣，动起来。抛锤。英雄登场。呀，说，
At least the DPS isn't a DPS
恭
loss
听太
to
阳的轰鸣。
Verasa. Like the DPS holds when Verasa's there.
呵，
最 最后通牒，调整呼吸。
Pretty impressive given that the DPS is 160k.
头锤，正告。
However, I do lose DPS like if I hesitate even slightly.
之下，
不许动！
更快更强，停，撞，正告，呀，嘿，冲锋，无赦天火，谁要阻拦？
放下武器，
动起来，从天而降，
Oh, what the hell? Okay.
呀，
Ressa just got stun locked there, and so did I.
恭听太阳的轰鸣。 风驰电掣，听我头锤，英雄登场。呀，
Okay, alright, it's fine. Just miss all. That's fine, that's fine. This is probably the last rotation.
天火，湮灭。
Alright, 16233. That's pretty good. 20k DPS increase. Well, 19k DPS, but like, I'm rounding it. 13% DPS increase. Also, off camera, I found that here it's better to go Bennett into Yansan because you get better time on your rest red. But alright, now we're just left with the 2 Moika teams. Theoretically, right, these teams, especially the Auron one, I think it's Bennett one as well, should be what benefits the type of team that benefits most from Chevreuse C6. Theoretically, right? I could be missing something. But what my Alliance thought, right, this is a single character carrying the team DPS, right? So there's nothing about ramping up buffs, right, for C6 Chevy. And there's no issues with snapshotting. There's no issues with yeah, all the damage is on-field damage, basically, right? In these teams, we could get somewhere around 90% team DPS. And, yeah, this should just be pretty solid for... Should be a pretty solid increase. Like, I'm expecting at least 15% DPS increase. Which... I don't know, which means this team should be pushing 170k what we're putting up next. Right? So basically, I'm expecting that this Bennett team will be closer to my Moika VapeML teams than they would be to like the Shalom ML teams and the Nefer teams. That's what I'm hoping. We'll see whether that's true or not. To be fair, my hands are getting tired. And when I did the C5 runs, my hands were very much not tired. I did this at like I did that a few hours ago. So okay, honestly, me testing Skirk right now is fine because Skirk is relaxing on the left hand because I barely have to touch that side of the keyboard at all. My right hand is right now less tired than my left hand. Because when I do my weak combos, I love just inputting a bunch of different directional keys to like micromanage my my directions. And that's really tiring on my left hand. And also all the Arlecchino freaking dash cancels, those also tire my hands out pretty quick. But yeah, there we go. Let me put the what's the number to go for? 146386. Yeah. 146386. There's a number. This is some high cortisol gameplay. Well, I am all about this high cortisol gameplay. I have fun. So yeah, just gonna massage my left hand a little bit. Alright, let's run this. Again, the goal is 170k.
粉灭不尽，
There's no possible way we're getting the attack buff on the first rotation, so it is what it is.
更快更强，气
Oh, right, I forgot. Okay, well, restart. I forgot I have to do this for Marika. Alright, restart. Yeah, F1-2, you like, oh, vomit. It's like spice. You like spice, you don't like sweating. Fair. For me, I don't know. It's like I see number go up, brain happy, I have good time. Right? These past 2 days of streaming has just been, for me, just like a big number go up exercise. And that's what I'm here for. Anyways, I shouldn't stall much further because the construction people are about to arrive, so I'm just send it. There's still 2 more teams I have to do.
听我的口，埋葬于赤焰之下。Go! Go!
Yeah, no, I think this seems pretty good, eh?
Go! 湮灭，动力全开，不许动。生之一该走攻击了。
Ooh, that is a far better circle.
更强，更攻听太阳的轰鸣。Go!
Okay, yeah, I think we're hitting 170k. I'm just like, there is a chance, pro chance.
谁要阻拦？我来保护大家。风驰电掣，记埋葬于赤焰之下。湮灭。Go！ 湮灭。动力全开。 放下武器，有大家在身边，伤口就不会痛。听我的口号，恭听太阳的轰鸣。Go！ Go！ 谁要阻拦 ？Go！ 不许动，我来保护大家。哦，更快，更强，动起来！无赦天火，湮灭。
Okay, I'm not doing the castles that well, but I'm still pretty securely over 170k, which is crazy.
大家在身边，伤口就不会痛。风驰电掣，计时开始，埋葬于赤焰之下。Go！ 湮灭。
Some of those charge attacks are hitting for 200k. That's wild.
我来保护大家。
In an overload team? Oh, I forgot to do the set of weak combos.
动起来！
Cooked.
恭听太阳的轰鸣。Go！ 湮灭。湮灭，动力全开，不许动。该总攻击了。哦，风驰电掣。
I'll read the message in a bit after I feel like I'm at a rhythm where I can start reading chat. Like, not doing that! Oh my god.
湮灭。Go！
This is why I can't read chat.
湮灭。
Freaking minus 4k DPS.
有大家在身边，伤口就不会痛。更快，更强，恭听太阳的轰鸣。
I mean, it's okay. I'll make it back in like no time, but like
湮
still.
灭。湮灭，谁要阻拦？最后通牒。
I think I missed a set of. Yeah, I missed a set of
风驰
combos.
电
But
掣，
that's fine.
计时开始，埋葬于赤焰之下。湮灭。
You lock in.
Go！ 湮灭，动力
Crazy
全
that
开。
even the
放下武器
unbuffed
大家在身边，伤口就不会
combos
调整
are
呼吸
still holding
动起来
the DPS on
恭听太阳的
170k.
轰鸣。Go！ 湮灭，不许动，该总攻击了，烧起来吧！听我的口号，无赦天火，湮灭。Go！ 湮灭，湮灭。 有大家在身边，伤口就不会痛。
风驰电掣，动起来！
恭听太阳的轰鸣，
湮灭！湮灭！湮灭！
最后通牒，我来保护大家。听我的口号，无赦天火！
go！湮灭！
谁要阻拦？放下武器，该走攻击了。
更快，更强，动起来！
埋葬于赤焰之下。
湮灭！湮灭！湮灭！湮灭！
要加速了，不许动！我来保护大家。
风驰电掣，
听我恭听太阳的轰鸣。
Last rotation.
湮灭！湮灭！湮灭！
Yeah, lock the fuck in the last minute and a half there. But yeah, no, I think that's a pretty good number. I'd say. Let me pull up the Excel. Yeah, 20% team damage increase. What did I say? This is the type of team that would get buffed the most. I think it was even more locked in when I did the C5 run. So that's a genuine 20% increase. But yeah, no, that puts it very much closer to these two Moika teams. To the 190k Moika teams compared to the 150k teams. Yeah, no, I that's pretty good. All right, well, I mean, there's one more thing to do, right? I mean, we have. Oh yeah, the people are arriving, I assume. So yeah, I need to get this one out of the way quick. So that's 153390. All right. Let's run it. See how it goes. I expect it's a very similar like damage range. Maybe it will hit 180k. I'm not sure. I will be very happy if it does. So just swap this out.
去哪儿？
And run it, I guess. Right? I need to farm for Moika ult first. There we go. Good enough. Alright. Let's freaking run it. Okay. Let's freaking go. Send it.
帮我四处看看。再见了。
更快，更强！
埋葬于赤焰之下。
湮灭！湮灭 ！Go！ Go！
最后通牒，束手就擒。
Chevy all there. Pretty sure Chevy all straight up DPS loss.
动起来
Any second you don't spend on a weekend, this team is a DPS loss. Same as the last team.
！Go！ 湮灭 ！Go！
动力全开，
不许动！
帮我四处看看。
更快，更
Okay.
强！
This is also DPS loss. We can wait for
计时
the
开，恭听太阳的轰
lock it. Actually, need to lock it.
湮灭！湮灭！湮灭！
谁要阻拦？最后通牒，
别跑太远，去吧，你自由。
风驰电掣，
听我的，无赦天火！
湮灭，湮灭，
Okay. Low key, my combos are kind of bad
放
right
下
now.
武器，必要武力，
帮我四处看看，放生。
更快更强，
埋葬于赤焰之下。
Again, forgive me for not reading chat right now. I really need to lock in.
呵，要加速，
最后通牒，
再见了，来，跟大家问好。
调整呼吸，听我的口号，
无赦天火。呵，呵，湮灭，谁要阻拦？
放生，帮我四处看看。
让开，计时开始，恭听太阳的轰鸣。湮灭，呵，湮灭，湮灭，动力全开，
放下武器，
别跑太远，去吧。一次
更快更强，动起来，
埋葬于赤焰之下。呵，呵，呵，湮灭，要加速了。
不许动，
再见了，来，跟大家问好。
风驰电掣，计时无赦天火。湮灭，湮灭，呵，动力全开，
放生，帮我四处看看。
调整呼吸，听我的口号，
埋葬于赤焰之下。湮灭，呵，湮灭，湮灭，谁要阻拦？
最后通牒，
再见了，来，跟大家问好。
风驰电掣，计时开始，无赦天火。呵，湮灭，湮灭，湮灭，动力全开，
Okay, hold on.
别跑太远，帮我四处看看。
调整呼吸，动起来，
埋葬于赤焰之下。湮灭，湮灭，呵，湮灭，要加速，
放下武器，
再见了，来，跟大家问好。
风驰电掣，
听我的口号，
恭听太阳的轰鸣。呵，呵，呵，谁要？
最后通牒，
别跑太远，帮我四处看看。
调整呼吸，动起来，
埋葬于赤焰之下。湮灭，湮灭，湮灭，要加速，
放下武器，
来，跟大家问好。
风驰电掣，
Forgot a movie combo. That's
恭
fine.
听太阳的轰鸣。呵，湮灭，湮灭，动力全开，
最后通牒，
放生，帮我四处看
Probably
看。
last rotation.
更快更强，听我，
埋葬于赤焰之下。呵，呵，湮灭，呵，
Holy absolute cinema. Just barely made it over 180k. Yeah, no, this is very much a 180k on the dot DPS team. Oh my god. You gotta wake up maybe early tomorrow to buy salmon heads? Well, good news. I think that people will be arriving soon, unless it's like too rainy today and they don't want to work. Oh yeah, it did rain. Even though the weather report is like, oh, it's not gonna rain. Maybe the people won't be here. We don't know. Case in point, let's get this over here. Let's put a number in. 180231. Look at that. 17.5% DPS increase. Yeah, it kind of does. Just rains randomly. And yeah, no. Pretty good. As I predicted that, yeah, the two Mawika teams are, yeah, pretty much the most, like, consistently buffed, team by Chevy other than Razor. So yeah, no. W intuition. And that places the two Mocha teams, yeah, right beneath the three goated teams here. Also, can I just say, right, like, Moika is goated, but also, do you know who else is a goat? Do you know who is the common divisor between these top 6 teams? That's right, C6 Yansan the goat. Can I also just say, getting C6 Yansan was one of the best things that happened on this account. Nah, C6 Yansan is goated. But yeah, no. This is... I'm very happy with the results I'm seeing. So unrelatable, I just pull on the banners to 4-stars if you're pull for 4 stars, get it twisted, gamble. Again, don't actually take that advice, but yeah. No, that last Veressa banner is actually so huge. Got C6 Yansan and C5 Chevy from it. And yeah. Pulling on it was some of the best decisions I ever made in that patch. But yeah, no, this is great. This is awesome. I'm very happy to see the results from this. If the people will show up, I might stream for like half an hour more. There was Yansan, Gabing, and Chevreuse, and you needed all 3. Yeah, that's fair. I think I needed all 3 because I was on like C5 Gaming. Well, of course, no Yansan. And C1 Chevy? C2? C1 back then? I don't remember. But, yeah. I think the banner just gave me everything but Chevreuse's. My luck with Chevreuse is, like, actually pretty bad, so it's actually insane that I got the C6. But yeah, no, this just shows that C6 Chevreuse is goated. I mean, 1 4-star pull gave all the CPS increases to these teams. Right? That is basically more than 10% for like every single one of these teams, except for like a very select few. That like, why are you running those teams anyways? Yeah, SMH, 60k DPS in the big 26. With a flower emoji. But no, you get a good, like, at least 10% DPS increase in, like, every single team you play, which is pretty crazy. And also, like, up to, like, somewhere between 20 and 25%. It's pretty good performance, if I have to say. And most importantly, you know, some of the best performances are on some of the best DPSs. I'm just saying. Yeah, I think my Stygian runs will feel a lot better from this point forward, because I do actually use Chevy teams a lot in Stygian, including this Stygian. So we can make me do a few Stygian runs. But yeah, no, this is very successful. I'm very happy with this result here. And yeah, this is definitely the whole reason for running this was to see, is how much does pulling C6 Chevy improve my account? And I think this shows that, yeah, it definitely does improve my account, right? For example, it brought my Arlecchino from an 80k DPS character to like up to a 100k DPS character, which is pretty huge, all things considered. So, yeah. Like recently, one of my friends have been like asking me like, what would be the sum of all the DPSs if we were like top 5 teams with no overlapping characters. And I was trying a few combinations, and I realized that you can make him a weaker team, you can make a Skirk team, you can make a Nefer team out of my account, and then it's cooked. No other team can break 100k. And if you can scrap together a fourth team that can break 100k, your fifth team can break like 60k. Well, yeah, like 65k. And I think that having a Chevy team here, like, for example, in, like, places where... Yeah, no, it definitely is a big increase to the account, right? Yeah, I can have Arlecchino Overload now, exactly, right? And that's 100k, right? That's improvement of almost 20k DPS there. And... yeah, I could probably scrape together something else, but that's at least 4 teams with over 100k. Yeah, so that's kind of crazy, you know? So, and like, note how, yeah, this doesn't even use, like, Bennett or Yansan. So I can just run the full Mawika, like, Mel team with some 195k. Right? It's actually crazy. But anyways, so this definitely does improve my account a lot, and my Arlecchino is finally playable. Yeah, let's go. Okay, my Arlecchino was usable before, but better now. So I finally have like an actual proper Arlecchino team that is comparable with Minerva. That's crazy. And I just realized, right? You can just run like I know Minerva, Sucrose plus like a synergistic enough DPS, and that probably hits like 80k. Get R1? No, R1 is like, in terms of numbers, C1 is much better than R1. Just because I already have the baseline of PJWS. I think the people have arrived, which means I probably don't have time to test out Stigi in this stream, but I will definitely be testing those off stream. And though, if there's anything significant, I will. Yes, the drip is a lot better, I get that, but like, my Primo Gems are limited. And it is what it is. Right? I have to make do with what I have to make do with. Right? It's, instead of getting like R1 on Arlecchino, I'd much rather get more constellations on like Columbina. Speaking of which, if she reruns anytime soon, I'm so cooked. Oh fuck. There we go, close the window. Hopefully that's gonna keep the noises to a low enough level while I do my outro. But yes. I think that's all that's gonna be all for the stream. I will be back in... First of all, tomorrow night is the dev stream, right? The thing is, right, I want to talk about the dev stream on a Genshin stream, but I do want to get a Star Wars stream this week, and this Genshin event fully comes out on Sunday, so it would make sense for me to stream Star Wars on Saturday and Genshin on Sunday. Or I could just not do the Star Wars stream and move it next week, because in Star Wars Pure Fiction, the endgame is resetting on Monday, so I could just move the Star Wars stuff on the Monday, I suppose. But yeah, I haven't decided that yet. So there'll be a Star Wars stream either Saturday or Monday. No stream tomorrow because I want to watch the stream and I don't feel like streaming after that because the dev stream is at what? 5 Pacific? 5 a.m. Pacific. Those guys arrive at 7 a.m. Pacific. I'm gonna have no time to stream in between, and I don't feel like streaming before. So, no stream tomorrow. Friday morning. Saturday morning, probably, yeah, there's either Saturday morning or Sunday or Monday morning, it's going to be Starro. I'm currently leaning a bit more towards Monday. And then Sunday morning will be a stream on Genshin. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Yeah. So the next stream will probably be Sunday on Genshin. Yeah, probably will be. And it's not Tuesday. Okay. That changes calculation because I trust on your information. So freaking minus one reliable chatter. But in that case, probably Saturday stream on Starro, and I'll probably talk about the Genshin stream during that, because there'll be a lot of downtime on the Starro stream because we'll be doing a Currency Wars run, and Currency Wars is. I'm pretty sure today, while I was playing Currency Wars, he put up freaking Plants vs Zombies. Which, speaking of which, actually, do I have Plants vs Zombies? I think I do. I could just boot that up. I could do the same thing. It'll be really funny as a bit. But maybe not. I'll decide. I don't think okay. I haven't gotten to I don't think I have gotten to the point in the difficulty spike yet where each phase takes like 2 minutes to run yet. Actually, that's not true. I'm at this place where it takes 2 minutes to run, not 5 minutes to run. And like, I don't know, maybe I'm just too PvZ 2 pilled, but like, PvZ 1 levels are actually just slow as hell. People had insane attention span back then. They could just play a like PvZ level for like 10 minutes straight. Anyways, maybe. That sounds like an idea that's like, I could actually do, maybe. I was thinking about it. It's crazy because literally yesterday while I was thinking about Currency Wars, I'm like, I could just boot up some sort of stall game where like I thought like, you know, maybe like put up like Minecraft or PvZ there, and then today freaking yeah. Average of 16% DPS increase like overall teams. Yeah, that sounds about right, considering most of the DPS increases are between 10 and 20%. So yeah, no, it's pretty fair. I mean, one single 4-star like poll technically giving you 6 damage increase. That's pretty good, right? That's pretty good numbers. So yeah, no, I'm very happy with the numbers I've seen today, and yeah, I can't wait to. No correlation between C5 damage and percent change. That's to be expected because the increase has nothing to do with how much damage you have pre-existing, right? What would have correlation with stuff like Shenhe Quill or stuff that adds to damage, that are additive, right? C6 Chevy is multiplicative. It's a 60% damage increase, or like damage bonus on top of whatever you have. And what does affect it is, for example, how much on-field damage you're doing, right? Because off-fielders don't get buffed as nearly as much as on-fielders do. And whether you have split damage between multiple on-fielders, because that tends to decrease a bit more because it's a ramp up, right? You get 20% per healing tick up to 3. So, if I'm reading it right, it ramps up on each character. So, you have to rebuild up that 60% damage bonus on each character you switch to. I mean, split damage teams, there's the off-fielders, which is the same, but also, even in like Moika Clarend, right, you have to, it takes a bit to build up the 60% on Moika, and then you have to build up that 60% on Clarend as well. And that's, again, right, not full uptime on that 60%, whereas if you just stay on field on Moika all the time, that's 60% all the way through. Plus, teams that have snapshotting do worse because of this ramp up, right? That's why the Xiangling team didn't get nearly enough of a buff, because I had to basically either choose between wasting Bennett uptime and waiting for the healing to tick on the Xiangling, or just extending the rotation in general. or I just send the Xiangling ult right away on 20 or 40% damage bonus and don't wait for the 60%. And that's, yeah, so snapshotting also anti-synergizes with this. So it just depends, right? The more concentrated your damage are on on-fielders, and more specifically single on-fielders, that doesn't snapshot, and then most of your damage is not snapshotable, and it's not, and the team doesn't already have a lot of damage bonus to dilute it, right? Those are the teams that will get buffed more, and the teams that doesn't will be buffed less, and that's overall the trend here. So that matters way more than whatever your pre-existing damage absolute value is. The ranking of C5 teams, basically say, because most of the, most of the lower damage teams, okay, let's realize this thing, right? On the left side, I basically didn't try to do any teams that are less than 60k. Right? The only exception being Rite National, because I felt like I played Rite National so much back in the day, it would be wrong for me to not put it there. So, and if you look, right, there are 5 whole teams here who are below that 60k threshold. That doesn't really change. So that's like a quarter of the list already. And then, like, they're in very discrete, like, places. The Arlecchino teams, right, they clearly went up, right? Like, they went from around here to up to here. But yeah, they're like in very discrete groups of like damage things. If you actually like read the numbers, right? There's the discrete like 190k plus group. There is the 150ks, 157ks. There's with 140, 150ks, right? 135 down to 120. The 3 120k teams, the 110k teams, and then the 100ks, and then it goes down from there. So not no team got better, but just that you don't go from, oh, this team is mid to this team is amazing. You go from this team is mid in the slightly worse than average sense, and this team is alright in the slightly better than average sense. Again, you can probably hear sounds happening on the roof. No, I'm not saying in between these. I'm saying compared to the left side. Right, because the whole point of the left side is to compare how it is in generally on the account. Yeah, no, but I'm saying, like, if you're comparing, like, how good, quote-unquote, a team is. Like, how good a team is, you have to compare it to, like, all the non-Chevy teams as well. But, like, of course, because the team, like, it's very multiplicative, right? It's a very consistent 10 to 20% increase between all the Chevy teams. Of course, there's not going to be big changes between all the Chevy teams, right? They all got multiplied by, like, somewhere between 1.1 and 1.25. So, of course, there's not going to be much changes here in terms of rankings. But what changes is their position relative to the rest of the list. Right, to the left side of the list. Because that's, like, what matters. I feel like. Right, because Chevy C6 is, like, fairly universal across Chevy teams in the fact that it's good no matter what. It's just how good it is, and, like, and it's not really differentiated. Like, it's the difference between how good it is not enough to differentiate between the different tiers of teams that already are in place, right? You have the, like, yeah. What is different is that my Arlecchino teams went on. This is worse than Neuvillette to this is better than most of my Neuvillette teams, which is fairly good considering how my Neuvillette's already paired with the C3 Farina. And I'm pretty sure all my Arlecchino teams, all the 5 stars are C0.
色玫瑰的标志是母亲设计的，我非常喜欢。
So
你看，轮廓
Yeah.
像颗心脏一样呢。
there's that. Anyways, yeah. Klee benefited the least, but that's also because I just do not know how to play Klee. And I also figured that if you replace Durham with Bennett, it will probably a bigger increase. And when I was doing it, I was talking about how I should have, before I C6, I should have done a test with Beneficial. Because Klee in this team has like 30% DPS ownership. And that's why it benefits by far the least. Right? Because as I mentioned before, the more split the DPS distribution is, the less the team overall benefits from Chlorine C6, especially considering how Dern and Fisher are both off-field. And Fisher snapshots, which means that she doesn't, in no scenario does she catch the 40 or 60%. But yeah. Overall, yeah, this is interesting. I might post a screenshot of this onto a YouTube community. I'm not sure.
多年的帮派经验告诉我，身边有一把不趁手的武器。
Very unenlightening data. I mean, I don't know. I think it's fun. I mean, again, the whole point is to see number go up, and we see that number basically go up everywhere. And that's a pretty good sign, in my opinion. Right? The numbers, they go up, and it's very consistent across the board. So, like, getting C6 Chevy basically helps in every team. And especially, like, in these upper teams. And that's, like, what I'm really happy to see.
色玫瑰的标志是母亲设计的。
Wait, because those are the teams I would actually use in,
你
like,
看，轮廓像颗心脏一样呢。
Sijian. Yes, Klee Overload does do more than Red and National. Okay, Defy fallen off because back in the Red and National Golden days, Klee Overload was just worse because Klee wasn't buffed yet. It's partially Klee buff, partially that I have C1 Klee, and partially because Red and National, this was around the DPS range where it was to begin with. Like, you will probably get maybe around like 45k at C0 Raiden? I don't know. And my Raiden is decently built, but my Xiaoling is not. And Xiaoling is a decent DPS contributor to these teams. So it never, okay, it hasn't, the number never fell off. It just always was there, and back in the Fontaine days, right? The highest numbers you'll really see is like about like right here. Oh, whoops! What did I just do? Right, the highest numbers you will see in like a C0 team is hovers around 80k, 90k. And Fontaine was already like the power creep really started at Fontaine, right? Pre-Neuvillette, I would say you'd expect to see maybe like 70k DPSs. So in a world where like the best of the best hits for like 70k stuff, 70 something k DPS, having a Raiden national team that's easy to like, pretty straightforward to build because you just farm emblem over and over, and it's pretty easy to play. Is like pretty attractive, right? Having a team that does, like back then at Abyss you needed like 40k DPS to clear. So it does a job and it was fine. It's just that, as you can see, things have kind of escalated in the past few years. Right? In the world of people doing freaking 60k DPSs, Red National is fine. right, in the age of Hyperbloom, right? Which, by the way, Red National does not pass Hyperbloom check. Never has, never will.
多年的经验告诉我，身边有一把不趁手的武器，
In the days of
会
like
比没有更危险。
80k DPS, it was fine, but like, you know, you'd probably have better options. And in the days of 100k and now like 140k, Hyperbloom would be. I don't have the traditional Hyperbloom team up here because nowadays you will run Hyperbloom with Laoma, and Laoma Hyperbloom is here at 76k. 76k. There's a Hyperbloom. To be fair, I'm using Cookie, not Raiden, because I don't feel like building EM Raiden. But
好想去旅游啊！
no, that variant of Arlecchino Melt is because I skill issue, and okay, I am melting most of the time, but you have to wait. You have to pause your Arlecchino attacks and wait for the cryo application, and that's kind of cringe. Also, did I mention that my Arlecchino is not well built? But if you just swap out Shalon for Yang-san because Shalon is a fraud, then you can see that it does beat it. Barely, but it does beat it. So yeah, there's Arlecchino Melt. If you actually build her like properly, probably gets. I like KQM and probably gets close to 100k, but like, that's KQM on Fragment and Harmonic Whimsy, which is not happening, never happening on this account, even if I try. So, yeah, there's that. It's just, Arlecchino Melt is just annoying to play and for no obvious benefit compared to Vape. Because Arlecchino doesn't even have that much reactable damage, right? For Hu Tao and Moika, about like half of the damage adjusted for reactions are reactable. For Arlecchino, it's much lower. So, yeah. Plus, Arlecchino is just not built with enough EM because of that. It's a plethora of reasons. Yeah, like, I think my Arlecchino has like 70 EM or something like that. Case in point, not built for this. Which is why my Arlecchino Overload team did better at baseline, even at C5. But yeah. And also got cleared by all the Arlecchino reaction teams got cleared by Hu Tao Vape. Which, let's go, I didn't waste resources building Hu Tao, let's freaking go. But yeah. This is also like very ideal Hu Tao scenarios, right? An enemy that doesn't move. And also I picked the Rune Guard, so because Hu Tao has the same issue as Veressa, in that if you can charge attacks through the enemy, if you try to dash after that, there's a good chance to just accidentally dash too far away, and that's really annoying. So this is ideal Hu Tao scenarios, to be fair. But yeah. Anyways, I've yapped enough about the data. I should really get going now, because the people are doing stuff again, and you probably hear it. It's not great for stream quality, and I'm also pretty tired. I feel like I could do with some rest. So, hopefully you enjoy this bit of Excel impact. Probably not going to be pulling up the Excel much in the future. Only for special occasions like this. Right? If I get Moika C1, I might pull something like this again. Well, not C1, R1. I already have C1. Yeah, if I get Moika R1, maybe. When we... like, down the line in Stenajnaya, when I get the Taritza and I triple crown all the Archons, we could run this back again. Anytime there's going to be anything I do that is like a significant improvement to my account, I'll be pulling this up. 6 Marikas and 1 Temple. That's a dream. That is a dream. I don't even need 6 Marikas. I need 4 more Moekas. Honestly, at this point, freaking going for C2 Silali might not be a horrible idea, but like, I don't think I can spare the pulse for that. 7 Moekas, it should be level 100. No, 6 Moekas, because I already have a thing from C6-ing the other day. But also, like I said, I would hoard those, right? I'm gonna level all the Archons at the same time. Because that'll be cinema. But, yeah. Them's the plans. So yeah, I'm not gonna be pulling out the Excel much. I'm not the Jeff yet. This will only happen when, again, there is potential huge improvements to the account agenda. And, like, I'm playtesting for that. Yes, exactly. I mean, hey, we have similar enough freaking streaming schedules. I think he probably started streaming already, right? Yep, he did. Yep. He starts stream, like, at around usually 5 a.m. Pacific, which is his 8. Does he just... No, he counts himself. Like, he actually does every bit of the Excel. Like, he just goes... Like, this is what he does, right? He goes like, here's a flat attack, here's the attack percent, and here we have the attack in total, and here we have the freaking motion value, and you have the EM multiplier, the freaking damage percent, crit value, crit freaking bonus, and freaking etc. Oh, Ziox. Oh, I did read the Ziox message. I have a very annoying tendency of just reading the last message. And Ziox, I think he relies on the Jeff for calcs. Like, he talks to the Jeff, and the Jeff gives him his calcs. Because he's a guide maker, not a serial crafter, right? So, and I think back in the day, he tried to do the stuff himself, and then the Jeff, I think, had to, like, on multiple occasions, correct him. And then in the very early days of Genshin, I know I wasn't there for it, but I heard the Jeff talk about this, and the Jeff's like, yeah, and ever since then, like, he kind of talks with Zox a lot before he gets a guide out. So there's that, and yeah, he mostly defers the calculation to other people, and he just kind of summarizes it and makes it into a guide. Right, that's the job of a guide maker. Yeah, he does. The serial crafters make, or more specifically the Jeff, and probably some other people I don't know, but the serial crafters cook up the actual content of the guide, and then he summarizes them into a way that like the average person can understand, in a decently entertaining way. So yeah, no, that is a great entertainer. Like he is actually pretty good at, well, entertainment. W charisma. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's the content of the stream for now. I'll be back probably Saturday or Sunday or Monday. What does Toronto do other than cross-dress? Right, the other day, didn't he post something about Casterus? I saw that on my YouTube feed, on my YouTube community feed. He farms for G. He tries to go for number 1 G in NA, I think, or just in general, and keeps getting cooked. He's a G main, and his quest is to get to top 1 G, and it's on the Akasha leaderboard, and he constantly gets blocked. So and he also just do he does do also a decent amount of variety content, pretty sure, and some Genshin content as well. But yeah, kind of just does a lot of stuff. Yep. Well, I am going to wrap up the stream now. So yeah, I'll be back on sometime between Saturday and Monday for a Star Wars stream. Don't know exactly which of the 3 days it will be, but there will definitely be a Star Wars stream on Monday. So if I stream earlier than Monday, there will be a second Star Wars stream. And the next stream will be Currency Wars. On Monday stream we'll have Pure Fiction. If it's on Monday, then we'll have both for an extra long Star Wars stream. I mean, both of them. Okay, Currency Wars take like an hour and a half at this point, and Pure Fiction takes like half an hour. So probably maybe then put them together on Monday. But if I feel like streaming earlier, I will stream earlier. Probably going to be Star Roll again next stream, but if I come up with something fun on Genshin, I'm going to do that. The next Star Roll quest will be... The patch came live 2 weeks ago, so it'll be in 4 weeks' time. There is a very decent chance that I will be in China when that happens, because that's like, what, June 2nd? Yeah, there's a good chance I'll be in China. So that'll probably be a job for whenever I'm back, which is probably the week after. Probably. So when I come back, I'm gonna clear out everything on the backlog for Star Road and Genshin. If there's any events, I'm gonna do those first because they're time gated. And wait a second, let me just check. When is the Genshin patch happening? It's gonna happen on 19th, May 19th, I think. Right? The stream is on the 8th, and it's going to be Tuesdays from then, so it'll be the 19th. I will probably be in Canada by then. Okay, 20 is for you and people in Asia and Europe and all of y'all fancy stuff. But for us North American folks, it'll be the 19th. I probably in Canada by then, so I can do the Genshin stuff. I think I leave like in the 20 somethings. Don't know actually exactly when. It might be towards the later in the months. I don't know. But probably we'll be able to cover the Genshin quest, hopefully. And then the Yakon quest, there's apparently 2. I mean, depends. I would probably split it in 2 parts. I did that for Act 7 and 8, so shrugs. Probably in 2 parts, but I could also do it in one night if I really feel up for it. Depends on when I'm leaving for China. And if I can... I'll probably start it on the night of the patch, though. Unlike usual, because before, right, I'm on campus, right? I am studying. So, like, I'd rather not quest in there. Now that I'm home, I can just do all this beginning of patch stuff and then move on to quest directly if I feel like it. So... I don't know. The answer is I don't know. So... yeah. I don't even know whether... I think the construction people will be done by then. So... that's a huge... It depends. That's a more question for like a week and a half me to answer. And it will be in a week and a half. So, like, that's not a present me issue. Right now, as far as I'm concerned, the schedule is 1 stream. Okay, definitely a Star Wars stream on Monday, and then before that, potentially a Star Wars or a Genshin stream. And I will probably talk about. I will talk about whatever stuff they show in the stream on my next stream. I'll talk about it. So far though, yeah, it seems very cool, and apparently, yeah, the story, like, Sigma-Jig, like, if you, like, on the live stream art, if you, like, invert the colors, yeah, his face is just a mask inverted colors. With inverted colors, which is very interesting. But also, yeah, Truce Amongst Pages of Piranha. Crazy quest name. Freaking, yeah, like I said, I left Sumeru, but I also stayed in Sumeru. behavior. Mr. Socks and Mr. Pants. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. But case in point, it's gonna be fun to find out what's happening live. Again, I'm not gonna stream. I'm not gonna stream like me watching the thing because I usually don't do that. I'll just probably watch like Zox's watch party or just watch this live stream directly. I don't know, but yeah, it's gonna be fun. Honestly, with like the Jeff stream schedule, I could make it a habit to like raise a Jeff, but I kind of don't feel like it. So it'll be funny though because my stream schedule does blend it really nicely to like raise a Jeff at like towards the beginning of the stream every single day. Nah, I don't feel like it. Nah, I'm not an active chatter in the Jeff's chat. It feels kind of like, you know. Does the Jeff email allow random raise?
四玫瑰的标志是母亲设计的，
I don't
我
know.
非常喜欢。你看，轮廓像颗心脏一样呢。
Does he not know that? I don't know. He probably, because conscious proper belief, if you type in someone's streamer's chat, the streamer does like get a vague recollection when they see your name. But yeah, I mean, sure, I can try to rate on Twitch. All right, so yeah. Anyways, let me just do the outro for YouTube real quick. So yeah, with all that being said, I'll be back. Definitely true for my chat. True. Yeah, with all that being said, I'll be back in somewhere between 2 to 4 days. Probably gonna be a stream before Monday, I feel like. And yeah, I'll stream. I'll be trying stuff with Stygian, see if I can get a like time improvement. And if there is, I'll show off the next time I stream Genshin, whatever that is. Probably Tuesday, right? Tuesday, we're gonna definitely stream for the event. So yeah, with all that being said, hope you enjoyed. Have a wonderful rest of your day, night, morning, evening, wherever you are. And yeah, take good care. Hydrate, like I just did. And you know, posture check everything. Take good care. And yeah, I'll catch you next time, whenever that is. Alright, bye. Bye, YouTube. Alright, there's YouTube.